Hey there, welcome back to the channel here on Wrist Watch Revival. I'm Marshall, I'm your host, and we've got a new watch alert. That's right, I got a new watch in the mail, which is really interesting because I think this is the first time that's ever happened. Basically every watch I own is either what you'd classify like as a proper vintage watch or a used watch if it was a modern one. And this is a Ming 17.06. Now this came out in a limited edition of 125 of these. They came out in two versions. There was a copper one and a black one. The black one's called the Monolith. The copper one actually won an award at the GPHG. So congratulations to them for that. This is the Monolith. So this is the black version in this box. And like I said, this is actually the first time I've ever gotten a new watch. All my watches are really old. They're 50 years old or something. And I'm kind of excited. This is a watch brand that's very small. They're kind of up and coming. They're based out of Malaysia, but they use Swiss-made parts in it. And I like their style. I like what they're putting together. This goes very much against my normal style, which is vintage. I like older watches. Like what am I like today? This is old, right? It's a Submariner from 1967. And this is the type of stuff that I normally wear. But I have realized, especially given of late, if you've been watch shopping for watches now, there's a big push towards making watches look older. And I think I just like the older watches in general. And I actually kind of do like the older watch look. But it also makes you wonder, like, where are these designs going? Where are we going forward with it? And I have a feeling that these guys over at Ming kind of have a good grasp on what a watch could look like going forward. So let's get into this thing and see how it looks in the metal, as they say. I've never actually held a Ming watch in my hands before, so let's see what's inside. All right, so here's the box, and it's just a box. I've never actually done an unboxing before, so I don't know. I don't really watch them on YouTube that much, so we'll have to just see how this goes. But maybe it'll be fun. So that's actually a pretty nice looking box. And it looks like that was already opened. Oh well. Okay. So where is the watch? It looks like it's in here. All right. What does this say on it? This says, "Dear Connoisseur." We're connoisseurs now. Congratulations. It's a versatile everyday companion. All right. It's probably a watch as well. And this is also worth noting here that this watch has an ETA 2824-2 in it. It's an automatic movement. And if you know anything about movements, you know that ETA or ETA is the biggest movement manufacturer around. They actually make tons of movements. They call them off-the-shelf movements. And this used to be actually how basically all watches were made. There's been a large push now towards what they call in-house movements, where a company makes all the parts for the movement in the factory. And I don't really know why that is such a big push. These ETA movements are affordable, but also very, very solid. I mean, they are time tested and proven, and they're really good for what they are. All right, so we get this. Damn, that's a sweet leather. Jeez. Yeah, they did not mess around with this thing. All right, let's see how this thing looks. So here's the 1706. As you can see, it's black on black. And let's get it out of the case. Wow, I gotta say, this leather thing is really soft and nice. And there it is. Wow, it actually looks really cool. I guess I should probably take off my old watch. Here, we can set it next to it. This is probably a good comparison for size and such as well. This is a 38 millimeter case on this Ming, and the Submariner, the old Submariners, I think it's about 41 millimeter. Okay, so now you know about how big it is on the compared to like another well-known watch. And as you can see, this thing is very simple in its design, right? You can tell that the person who designed this, who by the way is his name is Ming, Ming. He's, looking to the future as far as design goes. This is not a complicated thing at this point, but wow, it is actually really cool. So the thing that actually stands out that's really weird is there's this top, crystal, right? But it's anti-reflective, so you can just see right through it. But then underneath, there's the ring around the edge that has the hours, and it's very reflective. Like it actually just here. Let me see if I can get it in the camera right. But yeah, there you go. See, it shines the light right back on that edge, where the middle part does not. So that's kind of cool. Now this is an automatic movement. As you can see, it's about as simple as they get, though. It's time only, and it doesn't even have a seconds hand. So let's see. Yeah, this feels nice. So local time here, where I live in Seattle, is 4:03. So we'll set it like that, and maybe give it a little shake. And there it is. Wow. I gotta say, especially because this is their entry level price point. That they only made, like I said, the copper, and then this is the monolith, the black version. This one's a little bit more expensive than the copper one. In limited quantities. They made 125. So there's 125 of these things out in the world. They put them out for much, much less expensive than their normal watches go for, which I also really would like to own. But I kind of have a rule for myself where I have to, I don't add money to my watch collection. I have to sell other stuff to get new stuff because it's weird. I do have a watch collection. I'll probably go over it with you sometime here on the channel, but I don't actually like owning things that much. Like just straight up owning something doesn't actually do much for me. I like to really wear and use my stuff. So at some point I said, okay, I've got enough. I have enough watches. I don't want to actually put more money into them. So I made a rule. And so if I want to get something new like this, I had to sell a couple of watches to free up the money to get this. And I have a separate account that is called my watch fund, and I don't, mess with it. So anyway, I may, though, after seeing this, have to save up because this thing is super nice. I'm actually really, really impressed by it. I was a little worried that I wouldn't be because it is the lower end one, and I thought maybe they had cut some corners or something like that. But I'll be honest with you, that does not seem to be the case here. This is this is a 38 millimeter watch. My wrist is 7 inches, just for comparison's sake. My hands are actually big, though. I'm tall, and so I have big hands, so it betrays that a little bit. But my wrist is 7 inches, and I gotta say, I am super impressed by this thing, and I feel a weird sense of almost relief because I thought, they might have just put this one out as a way to say, here's our design aesthetic. This is what we think. This is how we make watches and how we think that they're cool. But that maybe they didn't really put much detail work in, or really make it a real deal watch. Like I thought it might feel a little different than this, and it doesn't. It wears really nicely. And I have to break in this strap a little bit too. Yeah. Wow. It has a buckle that's branded as well. It says Ming on it. Yeah, wow. I gotta say, I'm blown away by this thing. It actually is way better than I thought it was going to be. And it's actually better than I hoped it would be too, that's really great. So I think we got a keeper here. I'll admit part of myself was, I got up in the middle of the night to buy one of these because I had been interested in their watches for so long, but didn't want to pull the trigger on a much more expensive watch without really knowing, I don't know. I've never even seen one of these in real life. They're a very small brand. You just don't see these around. And so, so I didn't want to do it. And I thought to myself, well, this would be a cool way for me to do it. And then I'll be honest with you, since it was limited run And since it's a kind of a cool design, I thought, if I don't really like it, I can just put it up on eBay or whatever. If it didn't quite meet my, if I just didn't think I'd wear it that much, but I think I will be wearing it. So yeah, that's the Ming 1706. Take a look at it here once again, kind of maybe under a different angle a little bit. And as I said, I am happy with this thing. Wow. Mind blown a little bit, like not 100% because this wasn't cheap or anything. And I did, hope and expect it to be really great. But I got to say, holding this thing in the metal, even a really simple one like this, where, this is about as bare bones as this company is going to possibly get, is just nice. Wow. It's, they may be onto something here. I might have to start shifting around to try to get their big model because I really like this. The size also is great. I mentioned it's 38 millimeter, which is, on the smaller end for watches. Oh, it's interesting. I want to say of the current day, but it's actually like it's trending in that direction. So it's smaller than they have been recently, but I think it's appropriate for the current day. So yeah, I'm going to wear this thing around and see how it goes. But thanks so much for coming along. If you like what you see here, you can subscribe down below and you'll get notified whenever I put up a new video. See you next time.